Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is Monday, April 24th, 2017. And we're starting again. Yay. I'm not sure how long the stream's gonna be today because, well, you know, it's one of those low energy days today, but we'll see. Thanks. Oh, Unreal Engine and Linux Gamecast for the auto host. Awesome, got both of them today. Yay! I see Visual Studio likes to actually register my solution this time. I had some issues with Visual Studio yesterday. There's a bug. Right, so what we're doing right now is we're trying to find out, is a player a winner? And we're doing that by comparing it to so the idea behind this is in our UI. We don't have to worry about AI because AI is never going to have to draw a UI because it doesn't exist. It's not an actual player. It's just a it's a competitor, but it doesn't have a screen to draw because there's no human there, right? You don't have to draw a UI for something that's not a human. Makes sense because there's no user for the interface. Anyway, I thought that would be funny, but apparently not. Anyway, so right, we are gonna get the was that's Cameron time? Anyway, we're gonna get the player controller, and we'll be getting that from get player controller in the blueprint because it's kind of one of the basic blueprint nodes that we use all the time. And we want to pass it to the game state and have it see if the player is a winner. This will be valid just before the win screen is constructed. So on the win screen constructor, we can call it, and it will give us the correct value because the trigger to start the constructor, to start the UI, happens after the game mode and game state already determine who the winner is. Shortly after, but after, nonetheless. Yeah. We give it the player controller from the blueprint. As a matter of fact, I might even be able to do a player controller and just assume that I can cast it up, but I want to do base player controller just in case. I don't know why it'd be called something otherwise, but one extra node, not too big an issue for the safety. Anyway, so the idea behind this is we will pass the player controller from there. We will see if the competitor associated with the player controller actually has a win condition associated with it. Ideally, we'd have it only call one, but the problem is that we're gonna have to test to see if the winner and the how should I say this? Okay, so we're gonna be basically copying this code here for is game over because finding out whether the game is over is very similar to finding out whether the player is a winner. Whoops. That was a move command by dragging my mouse accidentally. Anyway, the code is going to be very similar. However, the is game over will be called from the server, whereas is player winner can be called from any client. And it's going to be using information that's already been replicated by a previous multicast that happened earlier on, like before the round was determined. So the moves occur, there's a kind of a handshake-ish thingy. Not really. And then the start of the next turn happens, and that's when the game is determined whether it's over or not, based on the results of the previous turn, or results of the end of the previous turn. So anyway, long story short is, if we call it, if we check in here, we can see what the state of the previous round is, and therefore whether the win occurred. So ideally, we'd be able to, reuse some of this code, and we can if we, pull some of this out into the game state and so on and so forth, and then make a lot of this be a function call. As it stands right now, we're just going to be copying it directly, which is bug prone, but not a big deal. And then we're going to, instead of determining whether the teams are alive, we're going to see whether the player controller in question has any control pieces. And if they do, and the game is over, then I should probably call it is player alive, and that's probably going to be a bit better way of saying it. Is player alive. That might be one of the semantic things I'm kind of thinking of in the back of my head that didn't really feel right. So then battle games. Where's battle games state? Battle game state, there we are. That's probably one of the things that was going in the back of my head. If the game is over and the player is alive, we assume that they are the winner because they're not dead, right? This causes one issue, and that being the tie case, right? So for the proof of concept demo, just because the back end of this is a mess and I don't really want to refactor it, because again, I kind of limited myself to only developing on stream, which is a bad idea in hindsight. But yeah, so because the back end's a bit of a mess, and I'm just kind of making something that works for a demo. I'm going to not consider the tie case. I'm going to assume the case where all remaining players lose on the same turn. I'm going to assume that case will be a loss for all people involved, as opposed to being a tie, because ideally I would have some sort of a stack or a queue and have players pop out, and then on the time where I pop the last one out, if the pop occurs and it empties the list, so like if you go from 2 to 0, then that would be a tie for the last 2, and the rest would be loss or last 3 or whatever. But as it stands right now, it is going to be everyone loses unless there is a winner. Make it a bit easier on that. Yeah. And it'll be based on global team numbers. So as long as one of the players is associated with the team that wins, then they'll get the win. If they're associated with a team that doesn't win, they're going to get a loss. I'd say that's probably good enough for a demo to properly handle the tie case, which some games don't even really care about. In general, it'd be quite a bit of back-end work on stream. Now the idea is after I release a demo on Itch.io, wherever it happened to be, then I'll be able to go back and off-stream start, fixing some of the back-end stuff, and then we'll still keep doing the streams, of course, but we're going to do it a lot. There's going to be a lot more development done on stream, as in non-zero amount of development done on stream. In hindsight, if you're trying to do a creative project, giving yourself rules such that you cannot do work is probably a bad idea. If I were to do it again, I would have... it's an interesting project, and we'll see how it comes up. Didn't really get a lot of popularity as much as I thought, though, for this. But from the concept of having regular development schedules, like in my case for the last several months now, it's been Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, from around 9:30 Eastern to around 11 Eastern p.m. That's good. That's kind of forcing you to develop in certain times. That's motivational, right? Because if you don't feel like doing it or you have other things to do it, well, sorry, you made a schedule, you gotta do it, right? But then saying don't do anything otherwise, I didn't realize it would hurt as much as it did. Then again, when I first decided it, it was supposed to be a game jam that was going to be working over the weekend, and then afterwards we ended up doing like 5 days a week and stuff like that, so we get the idea. Right, so let's continue with that. I think I explained everything I need to. Oh, one more thing I do need to explain now. If you are watching this on YouTube, you may notice that the show number over here is number 199. That means that tomorrow's episode is going to be episode 200. And I haven't thought of anything to do for episode 200 yet. I kind of like to try doing things like that, but I haven't really thought of anything yet. there is something in the back of my mind saying that maybe if I can get a build out for this, I might, if I can find either one of the regulars who use Windows. Unfortunately, Mir wouldn't be able to do it because I wouldn't be able to get a Linux build out in time. Maybe have an episode where I play against some fans. But other than that, I'm not really thinking of it. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to. So we'll see on that because I'll have to teach them how to play, right? The UI is not self-explanatory. It will require some training to do. Which for the itch.io wouldn't be too big an issue because I'll release it with YouTube videos and basically be like, hey, you'll see people play and they'll, be an example of how fun it could be. So maybe I can try to find some way of doing that and have that be the episode 200. If not, it might just be a regular episode. I know that for the 1 year anniversary, which was on November 2015, it wasn't recorded on YouTube. It was before we started doing a YouTube thing because I wasn't able to get the Monster Cat license until then. But we actually looked up the original VODs from the Game Jam, and we kind of did a reaction video of the video. So we were playing the video and talking over the video. That could be interesting to do again. That might be a possibility. But yeah. So we'll see. We might have to do something for episode 200. But hey, it's 199 right now, so let's just get to work, right? Okay, so is player alive here? So alive team's there. So 4 F-piece states, current piece in pieces with control. Int 32 global team number equals get global team spawn current piece dot spawn number. There we are. Make sure that's right. Okay. I don't know why it wouldn't be right. It's a method I created. If alive teams dot number is less than 2, actually we need to do that. So what we need to do now is to see whether the player spawn associated with this player has a well, is alive there. So right. So for that we need to get the team list. So F competitor for F. There should be a method to get current not get current competitor, get the competitor associated with a player number. When I do it over again, well, when I do the refactor, it's not going to be completely doing it over again. I'll probably add more methods to here to pick out the information we need from it, because as it stands right now, I'm kind of adding stuff to like game state and some other places that might contain the team list, when I can just add the team list because it's internal data structures. You get the idea. So, yeah. Oh, and we also have to consider the case where a competitor is associated with multiple spawns. or with multiple teams, I should say, because there's that case where, let's say we have 3 players, and we said Team 1 has 1 player, Team 2 has the other player, and the third player has a spawn on Team 1 and Team 2. In that case, do we want to just say the win-win, right? So win takes precedent over loss, so if you have a competitor, you'll always see, if you have a competitor on both sides, you'll always see the win screen. Is that what we want to do? It'd be interesting to make it, the win screen be a bit more complete and be like, hey, this person won, this competitor lost, right? Or we could also have it be where we loop through all the teams and list all competitors and then say, hey, this competitor on this team won, this competitor on this team lost, right? I mean, it's a UI thing. It's a, you know, it's not like if it was actually being logged, we just wouldn't allow players to be on, like for a ranked game, we wouldn't allow a player to be on multiple teams, right? But for custom games, we can check through all the teams and see if they're on multiple and then say, hey, yeah, sometimes one, or have some other interesting, funny quote for it. But other than that, we'll just say, well, if you're on a winning team, you'll win. Make sense? Okay. So for F team, current team in team list dot teams. So in a T array, F competitor, competitors of player. Okay, I gotta do it this way. So for F competitor, it'd be nice if C++ had a way of being like, like the dot contains would be for, how do I explain this? So, oh, and by the way, hi, Super King Dash, welcome to the chat. If anyone is, you know, wanting to talk in chat or just, you know, the point of this stream, and this is the reason why I said everything would be done in stream to begin with, is because I wanted the stream to be the product, right? I wanted the stream to be the thing that people would come to, and the game would just be a convenient reason to you know, congregate here, right? So if you want to, you know, ask a question, say something or whatever, go right ahead. That's like, you're not going to be holding back development. The point is to have the fun stream, right? So yeah, don't feel like you're interrupting or anything. So yeah, just ask any questions, say hi, talk about your day. That's the point of the stream, right? If I see you in chat and you're not a regular, and you haven't spoken in chat before, and I don't know that you, whatever, I don't know if you're just lurking or something, then I'm not gonna say you by name until you speak in the chat. So if I see someone new in my chat, I'll say, hey, hi, welcome to the chat. I won't say their name because I don't know if they just want to lurk and have a peaceful day, right? On the other hand, if you do want me to speak to you by name, and of course, if the name is, you know, acceptable to say on stream without sounding very weird, then yeah, I'll say you by your name, and I'll do that. But I want to make sure you're not lurking first, for your reasons, right? And there's been some cases where, you know, a popular streamer comes in that channel, like, oh hey, and then they leave, and I'm like, oh, maybe they're just trying to lurk, right? Get the idea. So F competitor. Oh, I was gonna say is it'd be nice if there is some way of being like, what's good, Unity tutorial? I don't really know much about Unity tutorials in general. When I did some Unity stuff, I mostly just looked at like the sample code, the existing stuff, and the API documentation. I kind of went from there. Because at the time I was working on Unity for the various projects, I was at a point where I was comfortable enough to just look at the API documentation and figure it out from there. And the Unity's API documentation is actually pretty good. Let's see if I can get it up. Oh, and I just realized I didn't turn off one browser. Okay. Right. So let's get my stream browser up. Twitter up. Here we are. So the manual and the API documentation is actually pretty good from what I've seen and what I had to deal with. So let's say I want to look up audio, or let's do oh, I can't remember what it's called. Audio filter read, I think it was called. Actually, it changed quite a bit from what I remember. There used to be a button that said switch to scripting, so, oh, there it is. And there's something like on audio filter read. I'm not really doing a good job at explaining it right now, but, but yeah, if you want it out here, you know, they have sample code and all that sort of stuff here, so that was pretty good for that. At that time, though, I was already using Unreal Engine, so I was kind of comfortable looking up API documentation, so it's kind of hard to go and say that. The most important thing, though, is I don't really like a lot of tutorials in general. I much prefer when you have a project and you try to find out how to do the specific thing you need for that project. Because when you're following along with a tutorial, you are doing the syllabus of the tutorial maker, and you are doing what the tutorial maker cared about, not what you care about, right? And that's fine, like, that's how school works, that actually is really good, but if you make your own curriculum based on the things you find intrinsically valuable, you're going to be more likely to advance with it, right? So, I mean, there are some things that you could do for tutorial, like making, you know, player movement and, you know, operate a door and so forth. But if you can figure out and say, like, okay, I want to make, last time you were talking about the, I forgot the name of it now, the game you thought was mobile, but it had a PC version as well. What was it called? What was the name of that game? What was the name of that game? Brutes.io, that's what it was. So like if you're like, how do I do Brutes.io, whatever, and if you can think like, okay, so what I need is character movement. If you go and look up a character movement tutorial to help you guide your own character movement and like kind of learn that practice, if you can get to that link of looking at what you need, like looking at what you're trying to accomplish and pulling out what you need from that, then learning that is going to be much more engaging for you because you're learning what you absolutely need for that period of time. As opposed to just learning a tutorial about how to operate a door, how to move a character in isolation in something that is not really grounded in something you really care about. It's just like, I need to get this to learn this, right? Yeah, it was Brute.io, yeah. Oh yeah, right. You thought it was PC only, not mobile, right? Yeah, so, yeah, current competitor and current team dot competitors. forgot what I was gonna say about that, but anyway. Okay, so if competitor dot human state, yeah, equals player dot player state. Oh, you need actually to cast for that? I thought at one point you were able to cast things if they were off. Oh, what am I even doing? If we don't have a player state, return false. We should always have that because it's something that's been spawned by the game. But just in case. So what we want to do is player state dot right. A base player state. This player. Let's do current player state. Equals cast a base player state. Player states. A cast and null wouldn't care, right? Cast is one of the things you can do without, like, a null, right? It would return a null, but it wouldn't crash, right? You know what? Screw it. I don't remember, so instead of doing it this kind of stupid way, here we are. If not current player state, turn false. This will definitely work. The question was whether I can perform this operation even if this will return null, which it never should because it's created by the engine at during level load, so it shouldn't matter. But anyway, whatever. Come on. Oh, right. Incomplete class type, right? That's what your complaint is. on. There we are. Probably quicker if I just look at it through the. There we are. Oh no! I thought I used to store the. No, that's on Game Instance now. Right. You know what? Screw it. Okay, so all this is stupid now. I don't think I need that. Oh. Okay, you know what? Let's do this. Whatever. Okay. I was going to compare by the ID, but then I realized since I'm going to be pulling by player, that I could just compare the game states, or player states, like I was going to begin with. But I thought it'd be clever and compare by ID, but I'd have to pull that from game instance, which means that I have to only call that function from the game state that is on the machine that would have that player, right? So I can't just pull it off of a different machine. Like, I can't go and say, I'm this player, what's that player over there? Are they still alive? Right, I can't do that. So, yeah. Then again, this method's kind of used the same way, because if this was the case, I'd want to be able to compare whether the AI is alive, but I can't. Yeah. Long story short. If current competitor dot human state equals current player state, this will return fine. Of player dot add. And then T array int32 spawns of player and for f competitor current competitor in competitors of player spawns of player dot add. That's right, I got pens. Sorry. Current competitor dot spawn numbers. So what we're gonna do is for each of the each of the competitors associated with this player state, we're going to add the spawn numbers here. And you can see we're going with this. Now we're gonna look through all of the pieces with control and alive teams. Oh, that wasn't what we want to do, because we already got the global team number there. Crap. No, that's silly. Okay. It's one of those times where you're talking and doing at the same time and you're not making sense. So T-array, it's a lot simpler than what I made it out to be. So teams of player. There we are. So for F team, current team in team list dot teams. For F competitor, current competitor in current team dot competitors. If current competitor dot human state equals current player state. Now this is where we're going to start diverging. Instead of adding the competitor to the list, we're just going to add the global team numbers. So teams of player dot add current competitor. Current team, not global team ID. Which is in 32 corresponding to the basically the team color, right? Okay, suggest a title, screw it. Yeah, I don't have that command in here, but it's good. So they say one cool thing about Unity is available shape sets there when you first install. There actually is a lot of shapes available in Unreal Engine as well. But first I'm going to show here. So, for in32 current teams of player, I'll show you in just a second. If alive teams dot contains let's do it back here. I'm trying to think of where I want to put the Boolean inside or out. Bool be alive team is alive equals false. If alive teams dot contains current team. Number. There we are. B team. Do return true. Actually, I need to do that. And otherwise return false. I was going to store a Boolean and check C afterwards and return. But if we just go through everything and we don't return, we'll return false down here. And this is going to be shrunk. I can get rid of that. Let's shrink it again because I accidentally pressed backspace too many times. And that will be good. Okay. So if I didn't screw up, I'm a bit tired side today. I had like 3 coffees to keep me going, but you get the idea. I'm usually not the type to drink much coffee, if at all. Like about a year ago, I drank maybe like 1 cup of coffee a week-ish. And today I had 3. Yeah, we did a prototype. Alive. There we are. Oh, did I fix everything? No, I guess it. Okay, cool. So I'll show you the available shapes and stuff like that as well. Oh, the caffeines, yes. So yeah, 3 coffees and 2 cans of pop. Very healthy. But yeah, it was a very tired day today. Anyway, long story short. So if I'm not really making all that much sense, don't mind me. Okay. As for the default shapes, I mean, here's a lot of the stack mesh for cube, sphere, cylinder, cone, plane, and that sort of stuff. There's curved stair, linear stair, spiral stair, that sort of stuff. Then we also get the stuff here as well. Cone. And then after that, you can always, use the various starter content, like pillars, walls, doors, floor, and then cone, cube, cylinder, capsule, pipe, more pipes, plane, torus, trim, and stuff like that as well. And then after that, you can then just use Blender or something like that and just send whatever you want out. Because, I mean, if you can't you can't represent it in this, you probably want to be more complicated than using what Unreal Engine for the editor. Anyway, although I believe they said they were, I believe I saw reference that they were finally updating their, I'm not sure if it's a mesh editor or they're using BSP editor, but they're actually updating the, I think it's BSP, to allow you to do modifications in editor a lot easier. Because the BSP tool really hasn't changed since I think like Unreal Engine, even Unreal Engine 1 has it? Maybe someone else knows here. Has the BSP tools really changed since Unreal Engine 1? For some reason, I have a nagging feeling in the back of my head that it changed in Unreal Engine 2, but hasn't changed since then. I could be wrong though. But they're doing it now. I believe it's for VR. The main reason for VR. So I think they showed a lighthouse being built at the GDC, was it? Because if you're in a VR editor, you don't want to jump out, go to Blender, make an object, and come back in. But before that, that was kind of the workflow. They were like, just use Blender, Maya, Max, or some other modeler. Anyway, long story short, there's the shapes. And now... what did I watch? Oh, yeah. Right. Oh, yeah, that's what I want to do. Oh, did I make a blueprint yet? It is blueprint callable. Okay, good. Excuse me. Wow. So UI, windscreen. Here, there we are. In the event graph, that's what I was trying to do. Okay, so branch, and we're gonna have this here be is player alive. Bingo. And then the game state is, oh, I guess I need to steal that there. I guess I need to get to and then cast base game state. Here, this one. Game state base is epic. Base game state's me. And then here's there. And then cast base player. Controller. There we are. Get player controller. Bingo. There we are. And then down here we're going to do a route pin. Route pin. And then not drag the entire thing, just drag a pin from it to there. And I can actually probably condense this a little bit as well. Can move it up a little bit. So I can condense it a little bit further. Okay, so now here we can update text win lose. Get there, and where is that? Set text. Text. Let's actually do this here. So we're gonna do a route node here. We're gonna do a route node here. We're going to grab you there. Pull there, and then I'm doing here. So you win. And then there. I can do a please play it again and make everyone who's ever done a roll up the rim to win for Tim Hortons have flashbacks. There, that has about as much character as I want for this. You win! They win! Okay. Right. So let's try this now. There we are. Let's test with chessboard. So first I'm going to try to win. I mean, whatever happens, happens. Get back there. The way to actually win this rush is to actually, like, move this pawn down here. Or even this pawn up. But it doesn't know that. So it lost. And this should say, you win. Oh, they win. That's interesting. Why would it say they win? So this looks like to be right. So it seems like this is actually going to be returning the wrong value. So what we need to do here is close. That was there. Close this down. And then run with debugging. I think it's the first time I've tried debugging with Visual Studio 2017. I could be wrong. I may have done it before. (2017) I should say. Did I say it's 15 or 17? Anyways. Oh, and by the way, I now also have Twitch chat on my phone as well. So if you start using, like, you know, Twitch emoticons, I can actually see it now. Because currently, before I just used Hex chat. So it just showed me the written out version of it. And here, oh, I know what the problem is. Same problem as last time. Same problem as last time. Yep, I can see that mirror. The table flip. The problem was base game state returns false. Battle game state returns true. Battle game mode doesn't use battle game state. Because I haven't set it up to do that yet. So in battle game mode.h, that'll be battle. Sorry, base game mode here. So yeah, there we are. Let's just do this. Why not? And then over in battle game mode. So So base game mode here, battle game mode there. Go back to the constructor. And here is the problem, right? Good, okay. And a battle game state. And then all these I can get rid of. In fact, all these I can get rid of as well because it's all been stored here in the parent. We don't need to override that. I just need to override the game state class to battle game state. Include battle game state.h. In Unity, what's an empty child? I can't remember off the top of my head. I think it's just a game object without anything on it. So Unity empty child. Is a child of selected object, maybe preferable to build. Create empty here. So what was the context of your question there? Again, keep in mind I mostly use Unreal Engine 4 because, well, Unreal Engine 4, but, yeah. So anyway, this should be what we want now. We're now going to be using the sub-game mode of it. Now when we win, we should have the value return something other than false, because the child class actually has something in there. Right. So again, let's hope that Alice makes the same mistake over and over and over again. It is possible they can choose a different move. It should be randomized, but for some reason it wants to choose that one all the time. There we are. Now I can grab this there. And if it doesn't do anything until this point here, then it's pretty well screwed. So now it should be you win. There we are. Okay. And then if I lose, which should be here, this is going to be an easier way to lose. Oh, Mira's giving away a free game. To which chat? This chat? Tomorrow, I should say. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move my king out in such a way that the AI will, yeah, it's just gonna kill it right here. So I'm gonna lose. They win. Oh, cool. So yeah, I guess Mira's gonna give out a game. He says so. Thanks, Mira, for that. So that's it in tomorrow's stream. This is the first I've heard of it, so. Oh, is it for the 200th episode or something? This has nothing to do with me. It's someone in the chat, Mir, one of the regulars. Apparently wants to give out a game tomorrow in celebration, I guess, of the 200th episode. Yeah. Thanks, Mir, for that. Yeah. Okay, so that's that. Again, this is a very ugly demo, but it's all I can do when you're doing it on stream. So that's that. What else do we need to do? I think we're done with that chunk of work now. So what else do I want to have here? I also want to have a widget that's always on the screen that that says actually let's do a little bit more design on this one. But I want to have a widget that says who's the current player. But before we do that, let's actually create a so after here, let's do wrap with. So wrap with see here. Let's do the wrap with canvas panel because I know how to do it this way. And then there we are, and then there we are, and then there we are. And then padding would be, let's say, 20 pixels. And now we need to sort this out a little bit. So this, have it be anchored from the top center. -50. Oh, because I have this size already. Right. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make a background so it's not going to be white text on nothing. Sure, why not? Bam. Why am I forgetting how to do a canvas panel? So UE4 canvas panel. That tells me nothing. What the API? Okay, designer-friendly way of that panels like there. Can't remember how to do make the canvas panel specific size. Do you want to wrap it in a size box with it? Okay. No, not 2,200. Then height 200. Okay, maybe that was it. Oh, does canvas take the size of the size box? Okay, maybe that's what it was. Okay. So now here we're gonna have this be 200. Then have standard justification. Have this be negative 100. Sorry. Yeah, that should be this. And here, should this be bottom there? Negative 100, size X is 200, and then position is 200. Oh, what am I doing? Come on. Okay, there we are. Then we do certification. There we are. So negative 30, so it actually aligns with the bottom of that. Then this would be negative 60. That'd be size 200. And then center align. A spacer we can get rid of. And then this will be 200. 200. And then we then add another image overlay, the canvas panel, which we'll put just above the background blur. This will be also 00, 200, 200. And the color and opacity will be so let's do 0.5 sure for now. And then kind of this color right around here. Okay, let's try it like that. Right. I can move this down a little bit. And then move this up a little bit, and move this up a little bit. Let's try this again. Okay. You know what? Let's do it the easy way. How do we win? By not spawning an enemy. Bingo. Okay, I probably want to have the background a bit darker and a bit more opaque. I'll have to wait for that. Okay. So background blur. Why didn't it blur? Oh, blur strength. There we are. How blurry the background is. There we are. I believe I should be in pixels. Here. 0.7, and we're gonna drop in the variance to 0.01 area. The value means, sorry, the variance value. I was thinking of blur again. So it looks pretty good. So what does everyone think about that? Who's watching right now? And is in the chat, of course. And is not just lurking. I'll show it to you again. So I'm actually going to have it be... Oops. I'll have it be a more windowed mode. Should be a bit bigger, I think. Should make it a bit bigger. So here, size box, 400 by 400. Oh, Mir says it's fine. Let's try 400 by 300 anyway. We'll set position to 20, and then -80, and then come on, -50. Compile, save, and then image here. Oh, background blur. Sorry, is what I want to do. So 400 and 300. I could just actually do the fill, but whatever. One versus AI. Should I have one versus AI? Let's just do one versus no one. Oh, actually, one thing I could have done is include spectator. So if the player is actually just a spectator, then wouldn't show either way. But one thing I could actually do as well, and that's actually be pretty quick and easy to do, is I could do a throbber. Probably not for this build, but maybe next time if I don't do anything special for next stream. If not, we'll see. But what you could do is a kind of a throbber. So it says loading map. I could just have it be on tick, just when it's actually doing that, have it add periods on both sides. So that way it looks like instead of loading map ... it'll be loading map in the center, and then no dots, 1 dot on each side, 2 dot on each side, 3 dot on each side, 1 dot on each side, or 0, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3, 0, or even just 1, 2, 3, whatever. So it looks like something's happening, right? It's like a buffering sort of thing, but it would also allow the text to be centered, because you'd constantly be adding stuff on our side and a center of line, so it would just not actually move the text in the center. It would just make it look like things are appearing and disappearing. But yeah, so I guess that might be it for today. There's 15 minutes left. I don't know what I can do in 15 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to package out to Windows 64-bit. Then I'm going to go and find a package target area. Package target, make new folder, check it's 4153. And then we got that. I'm gonna package it out, and I'll move my webcam out of the way. I'll show the output log. In order for us to do Linux, I have to release a demo, because I need to apparently need to build the engine. Can I do that on screen? I don't know. Yeah. So that way, if I do decide to do a day where we play with fans for episode 200, then if I have a fan that actually plays on Windows, I might be able to just do it like that. So I'm going to go to my check its project folder, and I'm going to copy my registered maps. So then I go into the package targets after that is done. I can then add the new registered folder to where it belongs. It should be in the check it folder, yeah. Okay. So, in this folder when I'm done, we'll see if it launches, and if it does, then we'll be able to do a proper build. Or do a... What are we talking about? If it launches, then if I have someone to play against that has Windows, then we could probably do a game stream next time. Not sure who I can ask on such short notice who has Windows, but we'll see. I do play with a bunch of people on a different game, and some of them are really big fans of chess, some might be, and I've been playing check it with them already, so I might be able to get one of them. What are system requirements? Pretty much Windows 64 bits. Other than that, you're fine. Whether you can run it Unreal Engine 4 in a VM, I don't know. I can give you the package. It'll be a OneDrive link, or OneDrive or Google Drive. I think it's going to be OneDrive this time. And let you try it in the VM. If it works, and it works. With a build like this, I'm not worried about it getting out early. But I'm not sure if I run a VM. We can try. I'm not sure how good GPU acceleration in VMs are these days. Something NVIDIA and AMD were both really pushing at some point. Because, I mean, they want to be able to sell, like, grid networks, enterprise VMs, and all that sort of stuff. An interesting cost perspective as well, because if you have a VM in an enterprise, and let's say you want to run AutoCAD or you want to run some other 3D application, if you can buy 10 or 12 high-end servers that can run, let's say, 16H of probably, let's say, 120 seats, that's a lot of people using AutoCAD at the same time, right? It'd have to be multiple graphics cards or just one that can virtualize a lot. If you then just have all your workstations be dumb terminals that render on that server and have the video and controls pump, kind of like Gaikai or OnLive would have been, but in the same building or in a data center controlled by a company or whatever, then that's, pretty good cost effectiveness for the company, because they don't have to have a GPU in every workstation. They can just have good GPUs and dumb terminals all over the place. And it also help NVIDIA because then they can say, hey, we want to do our stuff virtualization. Good. You want to do your stuff virtualization? Here's a GPU that can do that, right? So yeah. Interesting thought of just basically time sharing virtualized. I'm kind of wasting time until the build is done, of course, but I'm still cooking some project stuff. But yeah, no, if you can run it on a VM, then sure, I'll get you a OneDrive link. You can try it. OneDrive or Google Drive, either or. I'll probably be OneDrive. I think I've been doing OneDrive for a bit. Only Quattros can do GPU pass-through on NVIDIA side. I don't think that's true anymore. Maybe. I know that NVIDIA was actually really intending to have it be in a Maxwell architecture before it came out, because Gabe Newell actually said at one point that he wanted Steam machines to do virtualized GPUs, because the idea would be if you have one gaming computer in a basement and you have a bunch of Steam links in all the TVs, then you can have one or two people playing games in the same house at the same time. If you have multiple people playing at the same time, then the graphics quality will drop off, like precipitate down, because you can only split a GPU so many times. But they wanted to have that be a feature of the Steam Link, so you buy a good gaming machine with one or two graphics cards, and then anywhere in a house you play whatever game you want, and it would all be drawn in your basement or in a closet in the top room or wherever you put your server, right? So they wanted to do it in GeForce as well. I don't know if they did. You might be right, they didn't, but I thought I remember them doing it at some point. So I'm not sure if you're a date on that, but you might be fun, and that might be just, you know, it's not something I've ever really looked into. And obviously grid is, you know, grid GPUs are possible, but yeah. Not sure if we can do it with Tesla though, because you'd have to, well, maybe you could. It's the same die, so. Just don't know if they have any of the video processing stuff disabled that you would need to go back in. Only a Quattro, Tesla, and Titan. Oh, okay. Here we are. So now we can close down the editor, close down Visual Studio, and then here, go there, check it, copy the registered map folder in here. So now I have the list of available maps to populate the interface. Let's see if it runs. It's gonna give me a, you know, firewall complaint, I believe. Looks like it does. Okay. So let's go here, and let's crush Alice one more time. So move it up, move the queen there, it's going to want to move back, then move the bishop there, and at any point they would have, like, you know, moved this pawn up or moved this pawn up, then it would have blocked this, but AI doesn't know that, so easy win. There we are. Now let's see if it crashes when it tries to go back to menu. Probably not. And there we are. So that is the, you know, check it build for today. It has the 3 maps in it, Cross Streams, Chessboard, and King's Court. I might be able to try to have some, you know, play time, like, you know, me versus players or players versus players, and I'll spectate for episode 200. So we'll see what happens tomorrow, if we can get anyone who's interested, available, and able to play. Then we will probably spend episode 200 having fun. So thanks everyone for watching, and thanks for watching episode 199. Have a good one.